Hello and welcome. My name is Sofia and today I wanted to do a video about fear and the energy of fear. And I am gonna put a link with a previous video that I did about fear. There's a light language transmission about in the energy of fear, and also I'm gonna also link another one that is aligning with your divine truth, and it's a light language activation, and that's gonna support you in the whole process of moving fear and through fear. Um, right now there's and not only right now, we have been moving and living through the energy of fear on the planet, and we're transmuting the energy of fear. Fear is very much necessary and has been very much necessary to be alive on the earth in order to move us forward and also connect us to the truth of who we are and connect us to the courage, to the connection of our heart and moving from the energy of the heart and taking action. So being empowering love in our lives and empowering our movement and your movement to be inspired from your heart. And so the energy of fear has a purpose and there's a gift. So the understanding of the energy of fear is that emotions, there's no negative or positive emotions. Emotions are neutral. There are signals. They're the language of your soul and the language of your body that activates. And so the energy of the emotions are signaling something to you. The thing is that we have disconnected from the energies and we lost the wisdom to be attuned with the wisdom of your emotions. And so I'm going to bring you this understanding that if you're in the car, you have your panel, and when you're running low on gas, the light comes up and it tells you to go, and basically that your gas is running low, so you go to the closest gas station and you fill your tank up. Easy, right? Emotions are the same. It's the same thing. It's signaling you something. And the emotion of fear, what is signaling is that there's a belief, because your emotions are connected to your belief system, to your paradigm. Your paradigm are beliefs that you have created about who you are, about others, and the world. There's some belief systems that you don't even question. You stop questioning what is real. We all stop questioning what is real and what is not real. And this time is really giving us the opportunity to question because we're awakening. And so the energy of fear is an energy that is telling you, the belief system within you is that there is a threat outside yourself, that call it an obstacle, a challenge. There is something, a threat in your life that you believe you don't have the resources within you to overcome it. So have you noticed that there are certain experiences that you're afraid and then they happen, and when they happen, it's okay, you found the strength, you found the resources, and you found the ability within you to find the resources if they weren't there, to move past it, because that's a natural process of life. Life is always moving us to your greatest expansion, because your soul is always calling you to the expression of your greatest power, that is the truth of who you are. And so understanding that fear, it's an actually a thought, that is not who you are, it's just a thought. And so when you bring the thought, it's like, okay, acknowledging I am afraid, there's a fear here, I am feeling afraid of something. I know now that what fear represents is simply a signaling of a belief system. The belief is not who I am. The belief is the story and the meaning that I've had created about yourself, a certain situation or another, and a behavior and the world from a past experience. And so, as you realize that and you bring the energy right in front of you, because fear can stay alive because we either hide from it, you either run away, or you freeze. And so, by facing fear on its own and realizing that fear is just a signal of the deeper piece is the story that you're believing about yourself, about another, about a certain situation, about the world. So as you bring fear in front of you and you says, I'm not fear, this is not. The fear is not itself. Fear is the thought of what I'm believing in this moment to be true and real. And so you bring it forward in front of you and you realize now, because now you know that fear, the energy of fear, is signaling that there's something that you are creating the meaning that is a threat. That threat, you don't believe you have the resources within you to overcome that threat. So sometimes when we're afraid, what happens? We get angry. And so because anger is that energy activating the adrenaline to fight, to overcome, the energy of anger is just simply the energy like a volcano that activates that energy so then you can overcome it. And the threat, the obstacle, to fight and move through it. And the thing is that sometimes what we're afraid of is not the response of anger, is not the proper response, is not helping us in any way. And so realizing these pieces about knowing that your emotions are neutral. There's no positive, there's no negative. It's simply how we respond and the meaning that you create about each emotion. And so coming back to the fear is, now that you know that the energy of fear is simply signaling something and is simply signaling a belief system within you, that there's something that it feels threatening to you and that you are not sure if you have the resources or abilities within you to overcome it, then you can bring it down. What is the threat? And what am I believing about? What do you believe about yourself? And then other questions to ask is, what is a justification story? How am I justifying myself if you're freezing, if you're frozen? What am I justification? What are your justifications here that keep you in the frozen of not moving through this obstacle and challenge that you're facing? And what are the skills? What are your resources that you need to overcome it? Is it a new way of seeing yourself? Is it going through your past and inventory about all the different ways that you connected with your courage, all the different ways that you have overcome um, past challenges? Or is it that you have to study something and that's it? Or you have to ask somebody for help to guide you through it? And so the other piece and the last piece is that connecting to the energy once you pass that goal, because it's always said that on the other side of fear, there's love, because um, it is. Fear, it's only an energy that is not who you are. And so it either somehow it disconnects you. So in fear, it's either you find a way to come back to the love that you are, or you ask help for somebody to help you come back to the love that you are. Sometimes we all need a reminder of the truth of who you are. uh, it is said, I remember years ago I read about Ubuntu. Ubuntu, that is the action of in African tribes, that how is somebody makes a mistake, or something happens within them, that in a way they forgot of the truth of who they are. The community gathers in a circle and they put that person in the center, and instead of, in the Western culture, we tend to shame that person for making a mistake. The Ubuntu is the remembering. The community comes together in the remembering and the reminding of that person of the truth of who they are. So in a way, they're empowering them, just like, okay, let us remind you who you are and your truth, your courage, your value, your space on the family, your true belonging on the tribe, your power to move, and you be your best self. So it inspires you instead of shaming you. It inspires you. So I invite you, you can do all this within yourself and for yourself. Obviously you can do it for another. You can ask and request. If you have a really good friend that you really trust, you can also ask and request that from them. But the key here is remembering that fear in itself is not who you are. It's simply an emotion that is signaling there's a belief system, that there's a threat outside yourself, that you don't have the resources within you to overcome it. And sometimes, there's certain fears that are just there, and because you don't pay attention to them and you don't face them, they keep alive, and they're not rational. They're just you're keeping it alive by denying them or avoiding them completely. Like certain phobias, for example, like if you're afraid of, I don't know, cockroaches, when you look at a cockroach, it just, it's like really fast and it hides and it goes. So, what quality of the cockroach is within you that you're afraid of? Sometimes power is a really common one. And so, because too, we have depicted and we have seen and grew up with stories where it's like, the one ring that has the power and overpowers all, like Lord of the Rings, that it's like that belief that when you have that power, like Frodo, right, has a ring and it goes into the dark side, the power is a common fear having. And so it's like diving in and looking. If when I look at the darkness, or when I look at power, and I feel afraid, and so I avoid or hide or reject it somehow, you're rejecting what you see outside is a mirror of what you're rejecting inside within you. So the question is, in the cockroach, what is the aspect that it hides really quickly and that is evasive within you? That what aspect of you that has that quality are you afraid of? What aspect within you that is powerful are you afraid of? What is it the fear telling you? And what is the gift? What is the fear reminding you about? What is the freedom that it's inviting? In which way is it opening a possibility, and in which way is inspiring you to embody, to activate within you? So I'm gonna leave you with that, and I wanna finish the video with light language activation to um, really feel the confidence within you to face the fear and find the understanding. So I'm going to invite you to bring pen and paper, and just the first question is just label, what is the fear? What am I afraid of? And just have the answer. And so, what is the threat? And what are you believing about yourself What resource are you not having, or that you believe you don't have? Is there a past experience that activated this belief within you? And is it true? And if it's not true, great. What is needed for you to actually begin to take the first step forward? And if it is true, the same question: what is needed within you to take the next step forward? What is the cost of staying in the fear? And what is the benefit of overcoming the fear? And now let's tune into the light language. Ishianua krua hamalaya taranat wayala kuayana tuasanatiana narora wala kula kunia taratika takakol kadetako ni naratia yala kananiara. Iria tu yala kuania tiana kuaya to never go yet wala but you are many wala many areas wala but they are like it got to do a do and look like in Taking a deep breath in into the heart. Beautiful. Bye-bye. Sending you lots and lots of love.